Anyone else? And yet, you're almost by a magic, somebody helped you. It could be your medical situation, it could be anything. You had some money, but you did not get at that point, and you had a friend or someone actually helping you at a very critical moment.
Yeah, happened in college.
Definitely.
Many times.
Not many times. Yeah. Coming to the other points, right? I think definitely most of us would have faced it. It's not about we're not having money or maybe or may not, but at that particular time, at that instance, we might not have. Definitely, we would have asked for a helping hand. We would have got some helping hand at that point. So those people are a rainbows at that particular moment, isn't it? And coming to another point, you would have experienced a death of a loved one while one person stayed with you the whole day through your grief. Definitely, those people are your rainbows or were your rainbows at that particular point in time. It is not only about the rainbow. You're seeing darkness. Darkness is also good, but you need a silver lining in that, right? Enough of yarn. Let me tell a short story about being a rainbow in someone else's cloud. Once, there was a small boy. What he was doing is he was actually going to deliver things door by door. That's how he was paying his school fees. He did not have parents. One day, he found that he's having his last bread for that day, and he did not have money for the next day. And he was so hungry. He decided to knock the next person's door and ask for food. He knocked the door of the next person's door and he went there. Immediately, a lady, a young woman, she opened the door. He was stunned. He was thinking, should I ask? He felt very bad in asking for food. What he asked, he said, ma'am, can I get water? The lady actually recognized that he is actually suffering from hunger. And then she went, she got a glass full of milk and then gave it to him. And he said, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this help. I'll never forget it. With this, let me stop the story, put a full stop for the story. Let us continue the story after every speaker has their speaks done, right? Now, why are we here? We all of us are here because of Toastmasters. So what is Toastmasters? For the benefit of guests, Toastmasters is a non-profit organization which helps you to improve your public speaking, thinking on the feet through sessions like table topics, right? So Toastmasters had around 360,000 people around the world, 16,000 clubs, and across 140 plus countries. So, it was founded by Ralph C. Smedley in 1924. With this, let us introduce the Toastmaster session of the day. Every Toastmaster meeting is divided into 3 sections, as all of you know. The first session is about prepared speeches, where speakers are given ample time to prepare their speeches and deliver it in their meeting. The second thing is about an interesting session. I really like it. It's about something called as TTM, thinking on your feet, I would say. So that's called as the table topic session, where let's say your manager is asking you some question and you're not prepared for that. How do you answer for that? This session is going to help you thinking on your feet. And finally, whatever we do, we need to get some feedback, right? That is what is going to help us improve the next steps of our life. So we have the general evaluation. To have this entire meeting proceeded on, let me call upon the general evaluator of the day. So this is how his introduction goes, okay? So everybody has their own introduction. So our GE of the day has been part of Radis's Soundbites Club, and since its inception, he was immediate past president of the Soundbites Club, and he has tremendous interest in watching food and cooking channels. Being an attendant of the RCB IPL Cup, definitely he believes in Isala Club, Isala Cup Namde. That's what is said by TM Darshan. Over to you, TM Darshan, for your GE introduction.
Thank you, Jeevita. Good evening to one and all. I'll be playing the role of general evaluator today. The objective of my role is to observe the general proceeding of the session and give and share feedback at the end of the session. To help me play this role effectively, I have a tag team along with me. So let me introduce my tag team. First, we have timer Toastmaster Ravindra. Ravindra is the current president of Juniper Toast India Toastmaster Club. He has served as VPM in the last term. Toastmaster Ravindra, can you please brief your role for today, please?
Thank you, G. Darshan. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. As a timer, I'll time the table topic speaker, formal speeches, evaluations, and also alert the speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, red cards, which denotes the specific times remaining. For table topic, speaker should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll raise green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I'll change my virtual background to yellow card. At 2 minutes, I'll raise red card. In the same way, for formal speeches, at 5 minutes, I'll raise a green card. And at 6 minutes, I'll raise yellow card. And for at 7 minutes, I'll raise red card. For individual evaluation, should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll raise green card. At 2 minutes, 30 seconds, I'll raise yellow card. At 3 minutes, I'll raise a red card. I'll give my comprehensive report when called upon. Over to you, G.
Thank you, Ravindra. I next call upon our accounter, Toastmaster Naman. Naman is an engineer by profession, but a sports enthusiast by heart. He likes playing football and analyzing game strategies. Naman is also serving as secretary of WD Podium Panache. Naman, can you please brief your role for today, please?
Thank you, Toastmaster Darshan. Thanks for the great introduction. So my role for the day would be the R counter. I always use this analogy. It is shared by our club president and area director some time back. So we are going on a road, and that road is a very bumpy road. Do we enjoy our ride? I guess most of us would not. And then probably you're going on a 6-lane highway and you're driving your car on a decent speed, and you will definitely enjoy your ride. So my role is very similar for the day. People speaking, when somebody speaks, or a speaker is speaking, they have a lot of ums or filler words. We might not enjoy their speech so much. And on the contrary, if the speech is flawless, it has we are not using some filler words again and again, there are no unwanted pauses, definitely we'll enjoy that speech much better. So my role is to evaluate all the speakers today, give them a report where they can improve with respect to these filler words, these unwanted noises. And as our timer also said, when called upon, I'll give my report. Back to you, Toastmaster Darshan. Thank you.
Thanks, Raman, for the very insightful introduction. I would like next call upon grammarian for the day, Toastmaster Chaitra. Toastmaster Chaitra is a firmware developer for ESST products at Western Digital. Western Digital has been her second home from past 8+ years. She describes herself as a creative thinker and a passionate writer, an ardent lover of English literature. She has served as a VPM for WD Podium Panache Toastmasters Club in the last year and currently holding the VP role for the club. Her reason for joining Toastmaster is to keep her passion for public speaking and writing alive and to further nourish it. Toastmaster Chaitra, can you please brief your role for the day?
Thank you, Toastmaster Darshan. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, esteemed guests, and my dear friends. Why do you think good grammar is really important? Because wrong grammar could lead to couples breaking up. I know that's a drastic example that I'm giving, but I do have an example for that. For the Friends fans in the house, the example for that would be the infamous Ross-Rachel breakup scene. Now, you must be wondering which one. I know it could be confusing because there were too many "we were on a breakups." Well, this is the one where Ross says "YOUR" is your, whereas "YOUR" apostrophe RE is "you are," which surely fueled that breakup. Jokes aside, speaking and writing with good grammar is often overlooked as being unnecessary. Some people argue that as long as you are being understood, it should not matter whether there are a few grammatical errors. The problem with this line of thinking is that it fundamentally ignores the benefits of enjoying someone when they use proper grammar, someone like me, which is why I'm pleased to be your grammarian and word master for today's meeting. My role as the grammarian is to pay close attention to the use of good English and provide suggestions and improvements. Now, let me introduce the word of the day. Can I request the Toastmaster of the day, or probably GE, to bring up the slide deck, which has the word of the day?
Let me do that. I have it.
Sure, thank you. While Nikhil does that, the word of the day is ubiquitous. I'll pronounce that again, ubiquitous. The part of the speech is adjective. Meaning of the word is existing or being everywhere at the same time, constantly encountered or widespread. Usage. When I was a kid, I thought my parents were ubiquitous because it seemed as though they were there everywhere and they knew everything that I did. I have a fun quiz for the word scramble lovers in the house today. Can you unscramble these letters that are being projected to get the synonym for ubiquitous? Quick 10 seconds. A quick hint for that is, again, Friends fan lovers will definitely get this word because it was an epic scene which involved this word.
Nepotism?
No. One more attempt. Someone. Okay. Does
We
someone
have
have
answers in the chat window, Chaitra.
Oh, cool. Oh yeah, Nitin got it. Arpit got it. It's omnipresent. Wonderful. Thank you. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Thank you. So Toastmasters is all about taking things to the next level, which is why we don't settle with just the word of the day. Therefore, we have an idiom for the day as well. The idiom for the day is a blessing in disguise, meaning an apparent misfortune that eventually has good results. Usage. Many consider the current pandemic situation to be a blessing in disguise. That's me included. I highly encourage all the speakers and the role takers to use both the word of the day and the idiom of the day as frequently as possible. To accolade the person who uses the word of the day for the maximum number of times, we have a new category of award called the Brennan Martin Award for the Day, which will be announced at the end of the meeting. I will give my report on any misuses of the English language as well as outstanding uses at the end of the meeting. Wishing all the best to all the speakers and the role takers. Let's make this meeting a vivacious one, full of life. Back to you, Toastmaster Darshan.
Thanks, Toastmaster Chaitra. That was a brilliant explanation of your role, I would say. As Toastmaster Chaitra said, so we'll come back at the end of the session. Me and along with my tag team, we'll share our report at the end of the session. Over to you, Toastmaster Jivita.
Thank you, Darshan, and the team for this wonderful introduction of your roles, and Chaitra for having a quiz as well. Where did I stop my story? Anybody can you connect me back to the story? I really forgot about it. Where did I stop it?
Yeah, so the boy was asking for, I think, water.
Okay.
And then you had taken a pause. So that's where I remember the last.
Okay.
Yeah.
The boy was asking for a water, and the lady actually brought up a milk. She bought up a glass full of milk and gave it to the boy. That's where I stopped, right? Let me again put a full stop there. Let's move on to the first section of Toastmasters. So that is the prepared speeches. To start with that, let me call upon the evaluator for speaker 1. So he was an ex-president of Juniper India Toastmasters Club. He's a fitness freak. He loves to do cycling on a Sunday morning at 6 o'clock when we are actually busy in sleeping. He will never miss tea breaks. Let me invite TM Chandrakant to read out the guidelines for TM Vamsi's speech L3P2 level. Over to you, Chandrakant.
Thank you very much, Jivita. Thank you for letting me know that I am fitness freak. Let me go and reevaluate that. Today, the speaker Wasim, if I'm spelling it correct, is attempting level 3 project 2. The purpose of this speech is for the individual to reflect on the values that matter to him and to introspect what he has practiced and what are his preached values. This is a comparison that we're going to see. All the best. Over to you, Jivitya.
Thank you, Chandrakant. It's time for the first speech of the day. So the speaker has an intro like this. I could describe myself as a restless seeker of truth. I always like to get to the bottom of things to know what exists. I want to get to the bottom of life to know lies beyond. His topic for the day is going to be talked about values versus lived values. TM Vasim, lived values versus claimed values, level 3 P2. Over to you, TM Vasim.
Good afternoon, good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Am I audible? As we enter the 7th month of the pandemic, let us ask ourselves some serious questions. Questions beyond Java design patterns, beyond retirement plans. These questions need some honest reflection, some honest self-appraisal and introspection. 91,000 plus Indians have died so far from COVID-19. Yet, we are all so obsessed over what is happening in #Deepika Padukone's private WhatsApp chat. Let us not point fingers at the media. Let us look within. Remember the last time you and I clicked the link on the internet? What was the basis on which we clicked the link? What turns us on? Is it an article showing the plight of the children begging on the streets to pay their school fees, or an article or a video on UPSC Jihad? Which video link are you more likely to click? What do you think this media saga around the death of a celebrity and media hounding around his girlfriend, what does it say about our lived values, our real values, as opposed to our claimed values? Generally speaking, there are two types of values. Values that are presented, values that we talk about, values that we claim to have. Then there are lived values, real values, values that are manifested in our behavior. We as a society like stimulation, drama and scandals. We love our gossips and stories on a mythological scale. We worship our celebrities. We love distractions. The Roman emperors figured it out very early in history that the people can be easily distracted with bread and circus, with food and entertainment, with IPL and food fests. A society that completely focuses on sensation and scandals and not focuses on human tragedy, on hunger, on not focusing on economic collapse, on job losses. What is it that this society seems to value? This coronavirus in 2020, my friends, did expose the inner malaise in our society, the sickness, the illness of our society. Which is a greater problem? Is it the virus? Is it the coronavirus? Or is it the virulence? Is it the ubiquitous, the omnipresent coronavirus that is a greater problem in our society, or the virulence, the bitterness, the hostility, the apathy, the anger, the hatred, the antagonism we are seeing as a result of pandemic? That brings us to a question: what kind of a society are we living in? Is this a society that we want to continue living on and pass on to our children? Because this is not sustainable. India, the country that you and I are honored and privileged to be born in and live in and hopefully die in, is a great nation which has rich and immemorial and ancient and timeless past. India is a living and a growing civilization. What is India apart from her physical and geographical aspects? India could not have continued a cultured existence for thousands of years if she did not possess something vital, something enduring, something worthwhile. What was that something? Dear friends, we are passing through a unique moment in history. Things we took for granted are collapsing throughout the world. This social fragmentation, there is economy, there is job losses due to automation and robotics. We were all born and are living in a pluralistic, diverse, tolerant, caring, democratic society. Just like we take the oxygen in the atmosphere for granted, just like we take the water flowing in our taps for granted, we don't value the water till it's over. Likewise, we don't value the democracy we live in. What is democracy? Simply put, my friends, democracy is a social contract. It's a social contract between Shah Rukh Khan and the auto rishawala. While Shah Rukh Khan is free to live in his mannat, in his ivory towers, let us not forget that Sabzi Wali is ensured her basic meal and human dignity. If this social contract has not worked for some, Why should they preserve to protect it? Why should they care about democracy? We call ourselves a part of a great civilization. Now, Sanskriti, Sabhyata. What is civilization? Civilization is, after all, the human society that you and I are making as we speak. It is today's society that will define tomorrow's civilization. What was the first sign of civilization? Is it some kind of pottery, or a wheel, or agriculture, or industrial revolution, or a silicon chip? When she was asked the question, what was the first sign of civilization? Margaret Mead, a renowned anthropologist, said, the first sign of a civilization can be seen in a broken femur that has healed. The first evidence of a civilization was a 15,000-year-old fractured femur found in an archaeological site. A femur, as you know, is a bone. It's the longest bone in the body which connects your hip to the knee. In the animal kingdom, if you break your leg, you die. You cannot run from danger. You cannot drink. You cannot hunt. A broken femur for an animal or a caveman is death. Animal with a broken femur means you are a meat for your predator. No animal can survive a broken leg. Even before the bone heals, the animal is eaten. In an archaeological site, when there was an evidence of a healed bone, it only meant that another person has taken time to stay with the fallen animal. It meant that another person took care of the person who had broken his bone. A healed femur bone indicates that someone has helped a fellow human rather than abandoning them to save their lives. As a society, do we have time to heal the wounds of our brothers? Have we taken time to take care of the wounds of our sisters who are not fortunate as we are? Do we have time for those weaker sections? Has the poverty of the poor aroused some anger in us? Has the hunger of the migrants kindled some humanity in us? Caring, my dear friends, is a beginning of civilization. Let us try to be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. Let us inculcate the value of kindness, of unselfishness, humility, and joy of giving. Serve others, and let us be civilized. Self-driven, selfish is uncivilized. A society which is based only on show of strength, on rafale, on use of force is a barbaric civilization. A society which is caring, where caring is limited only to your family, only to your jati, your tribe, and your religion. Your community is a tribal civilization. A society where justice is based on individual wishes or tribes is uncivilized. A society where you're respected only for your survival skills or your security skills. If you're strong, you're respected. That is a barbaric society. The question is, do we want to live in a civilized society or a barbaric one? Let us use this unique opportunity of Corona. This 2020 lockdown has been a blessing in disguise for all of us who are forced to work from home and who have plenty of time at hand. Let this lockdown, let this time at hand help us reflect on ourselves of what kind of society we want to pass on to our children. Thank you very much for the patient hearing, my dear friends.
Thank you for this wonderful speech, Vasim. Lived values versus claimed values. Definitely, you said 15,000 old femur, and no animals can live without legs, right? So definitely, there are a lot of points to take from your speech. Moving on to the next section. So we have the second speaker ready. So let me call upon the evaluator for the next speaker. So this is his introduction about the evaluator. So he's going to evaluate T.M. Sharath's speech today. He's working with Oracle for 2 years. He likes reading books. He's interested in arts and playing video games. Let me call upon T.M. Sharath to evaluate T.M. Garvit. Let me call upon Sharath to actually read the guidelines. I'm sorry, not evaluate. Yeah.
Thank you, Jeevita. I'll be evaluating level 1 P2 speech. It will be his first speech. The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to the second topic. Since it is his level 1, it will be this stage will be a playground for him. He can choose to give a humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. All the best to the speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharath. Now it's time for our speaker to start. Let me invite the speaker. So this is how his introduction goes. He's going to deliver his L1 speech, P2 speech today. And He's a pseudo Bangalorean. He is a huge fan of sports, especially football, and hobbies is watching TV and movies. Let me call upon Garvit to deliver his L1P2 speech. L1P2 speech to be delivered by Garvit. Over to you, Garvit.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Am I audible? Okay. The biggest religion in this world isn't even a religion. A quote from my favorite footballing star, Fernando Torres, which simply means that the biggest sport in this world is football, and for all the good reasons. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests. My name is Garvit Gupta, and today we are going to explore the beautiful world of football. And in this process, I'm going to explain how football helped shape me as a person. I still remember the very first World Cup that I saw back in 2010, the FIFA World Cup finals between us underdog team of Spain as they took on a prominent and formidable force of the Dutch. The scores were all at level, at 0-0, but at extra time, the Spanish maestro Andres Iniesta, as he put the ball past the goalkeeper to score the winning World Cup goal, the 90,000 fans in the stadium and me in my drawing room erupted with joy. Even though I was watching the match behind the screen, the atmosphere was something I had never experienced before. The connection between the players and the fans was something unbelievable, and both sharing the same emotions of joy and a sense of accomplishment. Little did that 11-year-old kid know that the role this final match would have on me and shaping me as a person. As I began to watch more and more matches, I began to understand the game a little better. I started understanding the different roles and positions and how each move is generated from the previous. Quoting Dennis Bergkamp, behind every kick of the ball, there has to be a thought. And no better way to realize this but by pushing yourself to play on the field. So I started playing football, and as far as I recall, the very first competitive tournament that I played was at the inter-house tournament. To all our disappointment, we lost nearly all our games. But maybe we weren't collectively good enough, or our understanding of the game wasn't clear. But there was a blessing in disguise. I did take back two main points from the losses. First, you can't always win. Losing is a part of the process and something that you should be prepared for. As Francisco Garcia once said, every defeat is a victory in itself. We must learn from our losses to better ourselves. The best way to learn and improve ourselves in no matter what field of life it may be is to introspect our mistakes and work upon them. The second, winning requires teamwork. Not even the great Ronaldinho could fight against 10, 11 men on the field and win the game. We must fight as a team, win as a team, and lose as a team. From the words of Pele, I am constantly being asked about individuals. The only of last year. Ever since he was named the captain, he hadn't been performing too well. So much so that his own fans started booing him. As his performance degraded, he uh, he started losing his captaincy. He was stripped of the captaincy, and at that point of time, it kind of looked imminent that he would leave the club. But he slowly started working his way back up. He started focusing on his game. and started sidelining the hatred and proved himself to be the most important player and most crucial role player in the team and win the team two trophies. We too should not let others bother us, especially those who try to pull us down. We must always remain focused on the task in hand and work hard to achieve it. As the celebrated Lionel Messi once said, you have to fight for your dream. You have to sacrifice and work hard for it. Football has been a huge part of my life, and I have learned a lot from it. I am glad to have experienced several historic footballing events and learned several valuable lessons from it. I would like to end my speech by quoting Ronaldinho, a quote which I could personally relate to. I learned a lot about life with the ball at my feet. Thank you so much.
Thank you for this wonderful speech. Actually, I'm very, very bad at football. I still know there are players on the ground, they are playing, but I don't watch football as I watch cricket. If there is a miss in cricket, a wicket, or maybe a catch, I'll start jumping. And especially if it is Chennai Super Kings, that's all, it's gone. So, but in football, I won't know. I'll be asking my brother, hey, what's going on there? So I'm so bad at football, but still, I could actually feel that emotion from your speech. Thank you for this wonderful speech. Let me come back to the story. Where did I stop? Yes, he was asking for water, and the lady bought a glass full of milk. Years passed away. And what happened? After so many years, one day, this lady she has become old, and she was admitted in a hospital. She was critically ill. And a lot of doctors came and saw they could not diagnose what was the problem for them. Then later they had called upon a particular doctor, and they had booked an appointment, and they said he's a specialist in this area and we would like to invite him. They invited the doctor. The doctor came and saw. Before coming to the patient, he got the patient's history. He was looking at. Immediately his attention went to the district which the lady was from. He immediately recollected his childhood memories. I think now you would have got some gist about who was the doctor about, right? Now, immediately after recollecting his good old memories, he started running towards the patient. Immediately at the second, he could actually recollect the lady was none other than who provided him a glass full of milk. And then, did the lady recognize him? No, the lady could not recognize him. From that day onwards, there was a special treatment given to the lady. Every day, doctor visited the lady, and he was very, very kind to her. And after so many days, yes, it was a success. She was all right. After so many, again, months, the bill came. She was so scared. The lady said, I'm so scared. I think I can't even open the bill. If I open the bill, I'm really scared that I have to pay the bill, serving my entire life. Surprisingly, when she opened the bill, there was just one line written: a glass fully and finally settled with a glass full of milk, is the sentence which was written on the bill paper. My dear fellow Toastmasters, being in someone else's cloud as a rainbow is really great. You are not only being a rainbow, but you're going to be a life-changing moment for a small help which you are going to do every day as part of your life. Enough of Gyan. Let's move on to the next section. So moving on to the next speaker. So let me call upon the evaluator for the next speaker. So the evaluator for the next speaker, his introduction goes like this. He's been with Toastmaster for last 3 years, and he's someone who truly believes in the power of words that can move mountains, and dreaming of becoming a full-time stand-up one day. Let me invite TM Libin to read the guidelines for Toastmaster Maitri. Over to you, TM Libin.
Thank you, TM Jivika, for a nice introduction. The purpose of the speech is to learn or review the basic research method and present a well-organized and well-researched speech on any topic. This is one of my favorite levels. Why? Because out of the millions of topics around the world, I would like to know what topic they choose for the research. In our club, we had people talking about death, about torturing methods of Middle Ages. I was really surprised. So this is my favorite. So I'm looking forward to Maitri for her speech.
Yeah, hi. Am I audible?
Yes, Maitri. Yeah, I'll give the introduction about it. Just a second. So thank you, Libin, for this wonderful introduction. And coming back to Maitri, she is basically from WD. She is very excited about public speaking, and she is also a sports person. It's not only cricket. Guess what? It's Kung Fu. She's trying to learn Kung Fu nowadays, guys. Be careful with her. Now, let me call upon Maitri for the wonderful, I think it's going to be a wonderful speech. L1 PT right now. Right now, TM Maitri. Over to you.
Hi. COVID-19. I thought, since we're hearing about COVID-19 a lot these days, what better topic to research on rather than COVID-19 on my level 1 P3 speech? So I checked on Wikipedia. So Wikipedia read these exact words. Coronavirus is an infectious disease caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome. Okay, for all those who are thinking, oh, I can't go through a 5 to 7 minute speech on the topic COVID-19, relax my friends. I am not going too much deep into it. So I read on Wikipedia that the first case of COVID-19 came on 30th Jan 2020. And today, my friends, is 26 September 2020. Yes, it's been almost 7 months. But for me, if I talk about myself, it's been 6 months of not stepping outside my house. 6 months of not ordering pizza from Domino's. 6 months of not going on trips with my friends, not traveling at all, not able to party at all. Okay, after thousands of fights with my mom, I get this bit of relaxation, that's all. But above all of this, I have gone through 6 months of excess tension and stress because I love my loved ones. Even though the UN Secretary General Antonio has officially talked about the stress, grief, Corona has caused to people, the mental tension it's given us all. The UN asks all the countries to open up, support, help mental health groups for people. So good evening, Toastmasters. I want to make sure, do you also go through the same thing nowadays? Have you ever thought of making a post-COVID plan? Were you waiting for 15th August for the government to launch the vaccine so that you could have a perfect COVID-free situation? Do you often call up your friends at 3 a.m. in the morning and plan an international trip? I'm thinking we'll go to Bali after this. Oh no, wait, Bali is too much. Let's stick to Goa. Over there, we'll walk on the beach, we'll lie down on the shack and probably read some novel. Alright, I won't read novels in Goa, to be honest, but you imagine the scenario. At least we can all agree that we are pretty sure that post-COVID period is going to be lit. It's going to be awesome. I can imagine it. I can seriously imagine myself jumping, smiling, excited, happy. Perfect. But my friends, I'm sorry to say, let's come back to the reality. During this period, I'm often contacted with my friends. So whenever I call them up and I ask them, hi, how are you? What's up? So their answer is mostly, Maitri, I'm just sad. I'm just tired. I want this to end. I want my life to be pretty awesome after this. But when I ask them this question, I often wonder myself, that why is it that everyone, not everyone, but most of us are sad or tired because of this? I guess the answer lies in this very old phrase we've all heard. This too shall pass. Since my very childhood, I've been following this motto dedicatedly. I did not want to study for my JEE examination. My mom said, just one more year, this too shall pass and you will be happy. I got my first heartbreak in college. My mom said, it's okay, it's just first one, chill down, this too shall pass. I went to Bangalore for the first time in my life for my job, and my parents said, it's okay, take your time, this too shall pass. And right now in COVID, my parents still say, this too shall pass and we'll have fun again. Well, this keeps on repeating again and again and again and again. This too shall pass, we'll be happy. This too shall pass, we'll have fun. This too shall pass and our life would be great. To be honest, I started to believe this whole thing is a scam. Because one thing we're neglecting over here. The problem with our problem is that they love us. We don't love our problems back. So they cling on to us. We've never had a problem-free life. This too shall pass never becomes our last, this too shall pass. So now we keep thinking of the perfect future where we already know that the future would obviously be the opposite of it. Life would hand over to us another challenge. So while imagining all of this thing, I think of this scenario of a beautiful movie. I love it. There's this dialogue in my favorite movie, Kung Fu Panda. He says that tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. And that is why it is called the present. Friends, you've got to realize that you are not actually living until your present is pleasant. So stop making plans about the future. Think about what you're going to do right now. And trust me, you will find 1,000 different ways to make yourself happy right now. You are smart enough, I can guarantee that. So check out what you love. Find your passion. And you'll enjoy this very moment. For me, as I said, it was Kung Fu. I love spending time practicing self-defense. Go ahead and find your passion. Well, have you seen the movie? Do you know about the character Winnie the Pooh? So once Winnie the Pooh was walking and he asked his little friend Piglet, Piglet, what day is it? To which Piglet replies, oh, it's today. To which Pooh says, oh, today my favorite day. So this is what we guys need to achieve. So today we've all learned that it does not matter what our future will look like. We need to focus on what is in our hands, and that is this moment right now. Over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you for this wonderful speech. Really living in the present is the best thing what we can experience. It's absolutely, it was delightful to hear. Corona being ubiquitous all over the places right now, I think we need to practice to live with it. That's what is happening currently. We have been with Corona since I think Corona is going to reach its first birthday. So let's all hope for the best. Moving on to the next speech, the final speech of the day. Let me call upon the evaluator for the next speaker. He works at Western Digital in SSD systems. He's been with Toastmasters for 2 years, and currently, guess what? He's our area director of Area G4. He's the president of Western Digital Podium Panache Toastmaster Club. He likes to play badminton and he likes to explore new places and do some origami stuff. Definitely, we'll have to learn from you, Nikhil Arora. Over to you, Nikhil Arora, to read out the guidelines for Sujit Swain's speech.
Hi, Jeevita. I think there is a slight miss. So this last speech came at the last minute. We had a dropout. So Sujit decided to give an impromptu prepared speech, and it is being evaluated actually by Nitin. So I'll take this opportunity to introduce him if you don't mind. It's not me. I think we confuse Nitin and Nikhil. Sometimes it happens.
Okay.
So So evaluator for Toastmaster Sujit's speech is Toastmaster Nitin. He is a president of Trailblazers Toastmasters Club. And I'm not sure how long he has been with Toastmasters, but since last 3 months I have worked with him, and I'm pretty sure he's one of the most hardworking, sincere, and encouraging person that I have met in Toastmasters or beyond that. And I'm really happy to have him on my extended area council team as well. Over to you, Toastmasters Nitin.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nikhil. I have got my social media validation. My mental health is now restricted for the next couple of months. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. And good afternoon to my target speaker, in particular, Toastmaster Sujit. Toastmaster Sujit, the objective of your speech is very simple. You just have to keep your speech in time, and you need to have a good audience connect throughout your speech. Have a great one. Back to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nitin. Now, let's welcome our final speaker of the day, TM Sujit, to deliver his speech. Over to you, TM Sujit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jivika. Is the man in black quite loud and clearly visible? Okay, perfect. So with this, right, probably most of us have a moment where we were pushing ourselves into the blankets, weeping inside, and was under tremendous stress. And end of the day, something good happens, and it turns out to be, it was nothing to worry about. Dear Toastmasters, I am Toastmaster Sujit Kumar Swai, here before presenting my topic of speech, it's you and only you. To start with my speech, I would like to share some incident about some past memory of mine to share with you. It was one day I was weeping under the blankets, crying under so much of stress and tension because there was my exam coming up in the next couple of weeks. And I don't know, I was halfway through prepared and I don't know how to do good in that. And it turns out to be, my mother noticed everything. And she came to me and asked, Sujit, what are you doing? Under the blanket, I'm finding you so many times under the blanket. Are you really under a different and wrong influence? I don't know, Mom, nothing like that. It was the pressure, as everybody ubiquitously knows in my institution, that I'm one of the brightest ones. And when it comes to questions, they refer me, they come to me, other candidates, they come to me to clarify their doubts. And when it comes to exam, I'm little stressed. I'm nervous. I don't know what to do. The exam is just in 2 weeks. And I haven't prepared halfway through my exam preparation. Then on the very next day, she came up with a plan. I don't know what it was, but it was a blessing in disguise. And it was a small amulet to me. She handed over to me and told, Sujit, don't bother about so many things. You just keep studying, keep your plans up to the syllabus, just prepare for it and have this amulet on the day of your exam on your tied to your neck or by some other means tied to your wrist. Do something and have this to your exam hall, and you will find the supernatural influence impacting your performance. I don't know what happened. I wrote the exam. I was the topper. It was a 99 out of 100 in my physics paper. So it was tremendous. I don't know what was the superpower that worked behind, but I know for sure my mother was the rainbow at that moment of tear and suppression, or it was a nervous breakdown system that time she really pitched in. Moreover, another small anecdote that happened to me after the exam, it was a competition, which was national level competition. And I was literally not knowing what to do. And my teacher comes and gives me a 40-page script. You have to by heart it and prepare it in an international, probably a competition which will target you, present you to an international level. And I was quite surprised. I don't know what to do. And my mom tells, you can go ahead. If you won't able to do this 40-paper script, how are you going to be a super engineer or probably a good scripter or a good writer or a good reader? My mother loves me, wants me to be a good writer going ahead in the future. So in childhood, she used to project that. Then how you do that? And that 40-paper script, I just had it in 2 days. So it was, again, my mother. There was another incident where it turns out to be a little past when I was around in my 7th standard, and I was freshly introduced to the competitions that used to happen in school level. And I was much into debate competitions. And it was a result of some of the events that happened that time. I have 3 sisters We are four siblings together, and two are elder to me. And the second sister, right? She was a voracious speaker. She used to go to competitions. She used to bring the medals to the house. And I always used to question my mom, Mom, does we really need to go to these competitions to get a medal to the house? Then my mom used to tell, don't you think so? Then I used to answer, we can buy them, right? We can buy them. They are cheaper and we can buy them. We can showcase in our room and all that we can do. Why we need to deliver a speech for that? And why we need to fight with others? And then on what my mom did, she sent me with my sister to those competitions where I sat with my sister. She was presenting and she did well, exceptionally well. Every competition we go, instead of getting second or third, she started keep getting first. I don't know what was the influence. Then on, when it came to my time, when I became eligible to deliver speeches, my mom told, just go ahead, as you have seen your sister, you just go ahead and deliver a couple of speeches. Then I went delivering a couple of speeches, and my sister was there that time as a life support system for me. So altogether, I don't know what happened. I also did exceptionally well. I used to do number one, number two. But the fact is, it was always the support system my mother made between me and my sister. When she delivers, I am present. When I deliver, she is present. So that way, she made a support system in disguise, and it was a blessing in disguise, factually. So with this, what message I want to deliver, after thinking through all these events in my life, what I have realized is it is always us. Probably now, when I went for a management exam, they didn't allow this metal amulet of mine. So I jumped into a thread tied to my wrist. And probably that's why I didn't qualify the exam. And right now I'm in my Western Digital organization working as an employee rather as a management folk. So clearly the message is it's never the thread, never the amulet, never my sister, but the belief that there is somebody watching me, behind me, for me. So that was the message. And it is always us, really in the core of the deliverables or the core of leading the life, we are always ourselves. We have to fight it. We have to write it. The rainbow may pitch in different sets, like my sister, like the amulet, like the thread. It may come in different forms and we don't know. And the biggest rainbow in my life I have seen is my mother. And it will be always there with me. Though rainbow is a small time phenomenon, it will be always there with me. With this, I'm closing my speech for you all, Toastmasters. It's only you and only you. There could be rainbows in different forms, but the fact lies within you and only you. Thank you, Toastmasters. Jeevika, over to you.
Thank you, Sujit. Definitely. There are a lot of people who comes as a rainbow in our clouds, and they do make a lot of differences in our life. So sometimes it can be a game-changing moment for us as well. Now, moving on to the next section, so which is going to be an interesting section, which everybody loves to attempt it. So this is going to be an impromptu speaking session. It's called as a table topic. To conduct this, let me invite TM Anisha. TM Anisha is with, just a second. Yeah, I've hosted, I really feel happy that I've hosted a previous table topic session with Anisha. So let me invite TM Anisha to conduct this table topic session.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jeevita. Last time was indeed a really fun time when we had a linkers meeting and we got to host the table topics. So before I start with today's table topics is definitely different. I'm hoping that none of you have come across something like this before. So when I was discussing this with Nitin to try this about a couple of weeks back, he says we should try it with a bunch of Toastmasters only because it's going to be challenging. Now, I hope I have not scared everyone, but I need 5 volunteers who would want to take part in the table topic session today.
Sujit here.
Yeah, so good, Sujit. All right. Yeah, so you'd go first. And could all of you just PM in the chat window? It'd be a lot more easier.
We have Naman and Chandrakant was raising his hand.
Okay.
DTM Ayushi also raised her hand.
Okay.
DTM Ayushi.
Right, so that's Chandrakant, Naman, Chaitra, Ayushi, and Sujit, correct? Yeah. So Toastmaster Sujit, you would be the first. And your topic is, okay, so you'll get you'll get one item, which is one regular use item, and one word. Now, I'm not going to tell you the meaning of this word, and I'll only tell it to you once your table topic is over. So you'll have to guess what this word means and connect it with the item I'm going to give you.
Okay.
So weave up a story, and yeah, let's see. So your item is apple. Now, apple could refer to the company apple or the fruit, and your word is Tara Riddle.
The word is
TARARIDDLE. Tara Riddle.
paradiddle.
Tara Riddle.
It's T or P or
T for Toastmasters. I'll put it on the chat window.
Oh, okay. I think.
Yeah.
So when it is the key.
Yes. Are you Tara Riddle? Yeah.
Okay. Let me. Diddle something I could connect to, but diddle. Okay, let's. Okay. Oh, the time starts again. Hello, Toastmasters. As you heard that the topic for me, it was related to Apple. Could be a company or could be any other natural apple that we real time eat and grab. And Diddle. Though it's a tough word to go for, I can take his thesis. Diddle. Okay. So maybe a concept I would say. Diddle is a concept I would take in. Okay. So probably as we all know that what is an apple is. An apple from childhood we learn from the first word that starts with A is an apple. And there are many brainstorming stories related to apple. And there are conspiracies, theories, and the different concepts lying behind that how the organization Apple has started or how exactly Adam and Eve met and how Newton's laws of motion came into picture. So I'll just stick to Adam and Eve. I don't have much of a true background of how Adam and Eve met, but I know for sure that was the apple one bite Adam took and the second bite Eve took. And there's the story of this entire Greek mythology started. So this is what I know. Apart from that, when it comes to apple, the theory behind that one day Newton was sitting under the tree and then this apple falls. Then Newton's laws of motion just started. The thesis from there. Probably it could be a complete blunder. The theory behind the apple and Newton's laws of motion, it could be a complete blunder, but who knows? But that's how it started. And when it comes to company Apple, the Apple logo is slightly bitten and it was a cut over there on the logo. People say the greatest scientist once had an apple which was poisonous, and with that semi-chopped apple, the scientist passed away, but the theory and the legacy is left behind. And to honor that, Apple has that logo been taken. So these are probably I could relate paradiddle and apple this way, a thesis, which clearly tells about different depictions about apple and different stories, how the even Adam and Eve, the Greek mythology, the Apple company, and the Newton's laws of motion came in picture. Over to you, Toastmaster. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sujit. That was a marvelous attempt. Now, I will tell you the meaning of this word. Taradiddle actually refers to someone or something that is filled with pretentious nonsense or something that is a lie.
Could be.
Now,
Okay.
little did you imagine that's what it would have meant.
Okay.
Yes. So
I'm really thrilled with this topic. Thank you. Yeah.
So the next is Toastmaster Naman. Yeah. So Toastmaster Naman, your item is shoe. And so you have to imagine you're a shoe and you have to use the word snicker-snee.
Snicker-snee. Snicker-snee
So
and the word, okay.
And shoe, yes. This is the word.
Snicker-snee and shoe. Okay. So I always wanted to be a shoe. With that, I introduce myself. I'm Toastmaster Naman. Topic is shoe. I am a shoe and the word is snicker-snee. So yeah, this is an interesting story. I always wanted to be a shoe, and I wanted to realize what a shoe faces every other day when somebody is wearing it with all those bad smelling socks or differently grown toes or unwashed feet or whatever different type. So another interesting thing that comes to my mind, I have many different use cases. Normal use cases, you know, that people just wear me and go around and do different stuff, but I'm also used to treat certain different types of conditions like epilepsy. So if you would have heard, there are people who tell that if you take a shoe and make somebody who has got a fit and ask him or you make him smell it, they'll get cured by it. And talking about sneakers knee, what I can sense about it is that somebody who dances a lot would get this condition called sneakers knee. They might be getting some pain. So I am also helping them avoid the sneakers knee. So in all, Toastmaster Anisha, I would say, see, the importance of shoe is too much. And if you don't like somebody, you can just use me and throw it at somebody's face. So with that, I would like to give it back to you, Toastmaster Anisha. Thank you for the great word.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Naman. That was indeed a great analogy of being a shoe. So now sneakers knee actually means a long, dangerous knife. Yes. Yeah. So next is Toastmaster Chandrakant. Yes. So Toastmaster Chandrakant, you have a lamp in the middle of a desert. You have to use the word Widershins.
I'm sorry.
You have a lamp and you're in the middle of a desert. So technically you don't need it because you're in the middle of the day in a desert. And you are there alone, imagine. And you have to frame the story using the word Widershins.
Widershins. Can you please put it in the chat?
Yes, I've just put it up in the chat window. Yeah.
Thank you, Anisha, for leaving me in the middle of the desert on the Bangalore. It's an awesome weather, as Nikhil was mentioning this morning, and then you quickly moved me into a desert. And I'm very fortunate that I have a lamp with me in the desert. The lamp in the desert is so helpful for me, as if this word Widershins for me in this topic. Both are extremely useful, and I'm delighted that I got these two object and the word with me in the middle of the desert when there is no one around me. And given it's my imagination, let me put it, my desert is very as small as I can walk alone for a couple of kilometers for my morning walk and come back from there. I really imagine to go to the place where I can use this lamp after my walk along with my Widershins. So I assume this is a very cool jacket that I can wear. I'm naming this Widershins to a jacket that I can wear around because I just crossed the walk through the desert. And I'm looking forward to use that as I go forward. Back to you, Anisha.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chandrakant. Well, Widershins actually means moving in the wrong direction, where something is moving in the wrong direction. So clearly when you said you were moved from Bangalore to a desert, yes, there was Widershins out there. Yeah, so next is Toastmaster Chaitra, a fellow fan of Friends. I just PM'd her in the chat window saying I'm a huge fan of Friends too. Yeah. So Toastmaster Chaitra, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So Toastmaster Chaitra, you your item here is that you have to sell a blanket, and you have to sell a blanket to a bunch of people in an expo. So it's an expo full of, suppose you can consider where some technology event or some cloud event or something is happening, and you have to sell a blanket, and you have to use the word Bumbershoot.
Could you please post that in the chat window?
Yes. Here you go. Yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anisha. It's ironical that me being the grammarian of the day, I kind of dug my own grave here by attempting this, because it's like Anisha wants to get back at the grammarian by posting such difficult words that me being the grammarian for the day doesn't know the meaning myself. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and friends. I'm hoping that you've been having a thorough and a wonderful session so far. It's me at the expo today, trying to sell this wonderful blanket that Anisha has presented to me. Now, the feature of this blanket is, the context has already been set, that I'm in a tech expo trying to sell this blanket. But the goodness of this blanket is it's a magical blanket. How many Aladdin fans in the house? Aladdin and Jasmine fans in the house, me included. So here's your carpet, which is going to fly you across continents, across oceans. Just you need the word Bumbershoot to unlock the magic. Bumbershoot is your magical word to set this carpet on the flight mode. And there you are, flying across continents, not to be worrying about COVID and whatnot, which is stopping you from moving across places. You don't have to think about sanitizing yourself as well because you're flying, for God's sake, and not standing in queues trying to get past the security lines, because here I am presenting the magic carpet. Just use the word Bumbershoot. Thank you.
That was amazing, Toastmaster Chaitra. It was definitely, when I want your magic blanket, I'll definitely purchase one from you. The last topic for today, Toastmaster Ayushi. Yeah, Toastmaster Ayushi?
Yes.
Yes. So you are stuck on a Ferris wheel in the middle of a fair, in the middle of a fun fair. Now, the word you have to use is abibliophobia.
Okay, where am I stuck?
On top of a Ferris wheel in a fair.
Okay.
And the word you have to use is abibliophobia. And I've pinned it on the chat window.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for the topic, table topic master. So here I'm stuck. I'm stuck on the top of the Ferris wheel. I knew I was on the heavy side. My weight was so heavy, but I never thought that I'll get stuck in the Ferris wheel because of my weight. Oh God, what have I done? What crime? I think I hated reading books, but I never knew being a bibliophobic was a crime, and being a fat person was a crime. I thought I'm just an overachiever in terms of nutrition, and I just thought I'm just a healthy person. I'm not a fat person, but what have I done? Oh God, I think nobody is going to punish me saying that being a Toastmaster, I don't like reading books. Oh my God, what have I done in my life? I really need to start reading books. So like Nikhil made us today made the rule that I have to interact with 5 members. I'll go back and read 5 pages from a book so that my crime is I can be forgiven for the crime, and next time I don't get stuck on a Ferris wheel along with so many people, along with 27 other people. I've made them stuck just because of being abibliophobic and being fat. Oh God, no, I'm not fat. I am an overachiever in terms of nutrition. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ayushi, for attempting that. Now, I think I forgot to mention the meaning of Bumbershoot. Bumbershoot actually refers to an umbrella, right? And abibliophobia, actually, this is a word that describes many people. So that it's not a phobia, it's just describing many people. So thank you so much, everyone, for putting up with me with my crazy table topics. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Anisha, for this wonderful table topic. Definitely amazing table topics with wonderful words, I would say. So getting back to the team, prepare yourself so that you can be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. Someone who may not like you, who may not call the God the same name you call, but they might need your help. They might not speak the same language as you speak. They might not dance as you dance, but be a blessing to someone. That's what I think. So finally, coming back to who said this, be a rainbow in somebody else's cloud, right? Anybody can say, unmute and say who had said this.
Maya Angelou.
Yes, it's part of that theme itself. So, before moving on to the final conclusion, let me throw some ideas for being your own little rainbow. Bring the supervisor of the salesperson who gave you the great service. Compliment the barista who made you yummy coffee. Nowadays, I know it is barista is not possible. Please thank your wife or maybe your mother. That would do. Take the trouble to notice something your spouse did for you and thank them for that. Ask that friend who was uncharacteristically quiet if everything was okay. Tell someone you care about that you think they are swell. Smile at the people in office every day or in the gym or at the regular places. Send a small note to a person who is sick. Buy a cupcake for a sad friend. It could be me as well, okay? Offer to a help stressed or a struggling friend. In a way, they feel comfortable. And finally, forgive. Stop holding a grudge against someone who hurts you. With this, I hope you all had a wonderful session today. Let us move on to the feedback session. Let me invite the GE of the day to share the feedbacks about the meetings today. Over to you, GE.
Thanks, Toastmaster Jivita. So let's start with the evaluation of the prepared speeches. I would like to call upon Toastmaster Chandrakant to evaluate Toastmaster Wasim's speech.
Thank you, Darshan. How many of you have traveled by flight? Majority of us, right? How many of you felt that vibrations when the flight is on the runway when it was about to take off? Heavy vibrations? Today, Wasim, when I heard your speech, I felt that vibrations in me. Let me see, did Wasim's flight, did it reach the destination or not? Wasim, you started your journey with an awesome title. The title itself intrigued me. The moment you said about the preached values with the claimed values, it intrigued me. Is it going to be a moral science story or is it going to be some learning for me from this? I started questioning myself. You started your speech with a high energy, very, very high energy, which shattered all my prejudgmental thoughts about your speech. It was much needed. You're the first speaker and you have set the stage at that particular level. You started with COVID-19 and the drugs case that's happening on the Bollywood today, without even mentioning that. That was much needed. Being contemporary is very much important to make sure the audience get involved into your speech. To get to your point, you did not preach the values. You did not brag about you following the values. You told about an examples. You went back into the civilization. You spoke about the archaeology. You spoke an example where a human stayed back with an injured person to help him. You connected the topics with your core purpose of your particular speech. You used 7 minutes, 10 seconds plus of your time, a perfect usage of the time to make sure to convey the thoughts that you wanted to convey. During this journey, your vocab was awesome. The words like Malis, Pamir, manifested. I could note a few. That vocab, the hand movement, the gesture, the volume, the tone was perfectly there to convey what you wanted to convey. But now, are there any turbulences during the journey? Yes, there were. There were few turbulences. You had a question in between, but there was no pause. Before even I was thinking about the answer for that question, you were on the next topic. You should have given a small pause there for us to respond or either think about ourselves for that. You were super fast. When I was thinking about topic number 1 in your speech, you were already in topic number 2. The person like me, it takes some time to digest. You have to give the pause a little. Your speech was multidimensional. You're moving from one place to another place to another place. Probably to make it slow, you could limit it to few dimensions. With that said, yes, there might be few turbulences, but did it reach the destination? The destination in Toastmasters is to let the audience motivate them or give them some takeaways. And in this process of being a rainbow in someone's lives, I'm sure you were successful for that. You did not preach or claim. You fired the missiles of questions to include or to raise the questions on my thought process. The moment the questions raised in my heart, which says whether I'm on this side of the line or the other side of the line, I consider you as successful and your speech a success. It's a blessing in disguise for me to evaluate your speech because I was not looking for the errors. I was looking for learnings. I was not looking for the improvements. I was looking for takeaways. I was not evaluating. I was experiencing your speech. Overall, high energy, a multi-dimensional approach, and contemporary examples, and excellent vocab, rock solid execution, and with a little turbulences, you have reached your destination safely. At the end, your aura was ubiquitous in the club. Congrats for completing your level 3 speech 2. Back to you.
Thanks, Toastmaster Chandrakant. I would next like to call upon Toastmaster Sharath to evaluate Toastmaster Garvit's L1P2 speech.
Thank you, Darshan. Football is like a religion to me. I worship the ball and treat it like a god. You know who said this? Quote, Pele. This speech was a highly inspirational speech. Personally, for me, sports has been a common theme of motivation for me. If I had to do some work which was boring, I would get motivation seeing sport athletes training. And today I could learn a lot of just from the sport and the difficulties that was faced by the athletes. A lot can be related to our life as well. That has been brought down by Toastmaster Garvit beautifully. There was also a personal, what I loved about his speech was there was a personal connect he had. He told about his personal story on how much that the sport has impacted him. This speech completely showed your commitment to the sport. I loved the setup of the final match of 2010 World Cup between Spain and Netherlands, I suppose. Of when at the last minute, even I remember I watched the final match, and in which Andre Iniesta scored the final goal at the last minute, I suppose, during extra time. I loved the way you built up that setup. I like the quotes that you used by famous football stars: Fernando Perez, Dennis Bergkamp, Pele, Messi, Ganischek, Ronaldinho. One improvement that you can do is to use voice modulation and using appropriate pauses. Like when you said the quote, the final quote, I learned all about life with the ball at my feet. What you could do was to use use a pause after the first statement of that quote. I learned all about life with a ball at my feet. That would impact that quote very well. I like the way you connected football with your way of life and how much that you could learn from the sport. Your pace was just right. What you could improvise was increase the pace during the setup of the final match, and which and afterwards when you said the consequences, you could have matched the context. During the Ganischek story, where you criticized and told how he suffered, you could have used a lower tone, a sad tone, and when you started explaining how you improved in the game, you could have used a strong tone and a deep tone. In summary, it was an inspirational story. Each point was connected to the story. There was personal connect. The quotes used were beautiful. One thing that you could use was to use voice modulation and few pauses, appropriate pauses to impact your speech. Thank you.
Thanks, Toastmaster Sharath. I would like to call upon Toastmaster Libin to evaluate Toastmaster Maitri's speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Darshan. Don't wait for all week for a Friday. all year for summer, and all life for happiness. My famous quote. But Sri Maitri has added one more line, don't wait for the vaccine. Dear Maitri, congratulations for completing your level 1. It's a good milestone because till now you could have spoken on any topic. That was a marvelous speech, full of energy, full of enthusiasm, and the right dose of inspiration which I needed, probably which all of us needed. 7 months in closed doors, and these days were never displayed with such beautiful colors. Dear Maitri, to start your speech from the top to beginning, from the beginning to the end, you started with the things which we all miss. There were times which we started missing those long drives, those trips with your friends, and I never imagined that I will ever miss Bangalore traffic. We all missed. You talked about, you made us nostalgic, you talked about our mental issues, and you set the stage. You made the soil ready for planting. And then you gave the first dose of inspiration, your parents' words, this too shall pass. And when we were getting motivated to think that this too shall pass, and your speech took a turn from that moment. From there, it was all uphill. You had first set the stage, and then you planted the seed. You planted the seed in our deep heart, and it started growing its roots deep inside us. That was the right way to do things. And when it started taking its roots, you gave the next dose. The next dose came with Kung Fu Panda, telling today is a present. Then came another dose with Pooh, telling today is my favorite day. And it was all fully energetic. You had excellent voice modulation. Enthusiasm was never lost. You always kept up the energy till the end. But like the broken femur, you also had a small mistakes. The first thing which I found was you were a little breathless towards the end. You were losing your breath. Even after finishing the speech, you were doing, taking deep breaths. Concentrate on your breath. That is the most important quality any speaker can have. Second thing, the amount of research mostly came from your mind. I doubt you did enough research on how to improve our lives. I'm not going, she's a Kung Fu master. I don't want to mess her. I would like to conclude with the evaluation with a thanks. A thanks for making our lives, our corona-infected Saturday evening, so beautiful. Thank you, Maitri. Over to you, Darshan.
Thanks, Levin. That was a meticulous evaluation, I would say. I would like to call upon our next evaluator, Toastmaster Nitin, to evaluate Toastmaster Sujit's speech.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Darshan. Dear Toastmasters and guests, think back of our days in school and college. We all had that one kid who always used to say, I haven't studied for the exam, and yet ends up scoring 90% and above. I want all of you to look at Toastmaster Sujit over here and just remind yourself of that kid. Jokes aside, let's get down to business. Toastmaster Sujit, it's you and only you. I am a huge advocate of the fact that we don't give enough credits to ourselves at places where we deserve it. We give credits to a thread on the hand. We give credits to luck working out in our way. But we never say that, yes, I was up till 4 a.m. studying for that night. I did not eat. I did not sleep. I did it all by myself. We never do that. So I was very happy when I realized that your speech revolved around the fact that we should give credits to ourselves where we deserve it. A brilliant theme that you have chosen for this speech, and I really appreciate you for that. I felt you were very smooth on stage, given the fact that this was an impromptu prepared speech. It did not seem so. It felt like you had prepared this for like ages, and you were thoroughly set to put the stage on fire. You had a constant smile throughout the speech, and you were looking at the camera during the entirety of your speech. You did not look anywhere else. The smile never vanished from your face. And I loved that during the delivery part of your speech. Now, a couple of things that can be improved on the a speech is essentially of two things. One is the content and the other is delivery. I believe the content part was absolutely fine and does not need any improvements. On the delivery side, however, there can be a couple of things that you can improve. The first thing is the voice modulation or the tone variation. Your speech had a lot of stories imbibed in it, but I was not able to differentiate between those stories because you had a flat voice throughout your speech. There was not a lot of tone variation that happened, which showed that you're happy in certain parts or you're sad in certain parts. So if you had a little bit of tone variation, I would have been able to clearly differentiate between the segments and the stories in your speech. The other was the conversations that you have with the characters in your speech. Your speech had characters like your mom and your sister, and there were parts where you could have had a conversation with them. Now, while giving the conversation, you were in the middle of the stage just talking towards the camera. However, if you changed it by being here for the mom and then being here for yourself, so that it clearly defines that there are two separate individuals talking to each other, that would have been better. So all in all, I think this was a brilliant speech for an impromptu prepared speech. I think you have done a fantastic job. A couple of improvements here and there, but otherwise it was fantastic. I loved it. Thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing more from you. Back to you, Toastmaster Darshan.
Thanks, Nitin, for your evaluation. Before I start my evaluation of the overall session, I would like to call upon my tag team. First, the timer. Toastmaster Ravindra, could you please give the timer report for the session, please?
Yeah, thank you, Darshan. The meeting started at 3:07. The essay Shankara took 2 minutes. Area Director Nikhil Arora took overall 7 minutes. Divisional Director Ayushi took 1 minute. TMOD Jivita, overall she took 12 minutes. And G Darshan, while introducing the first part, he took 8 minutes. Entire team, Darshan and tag team. And the speaker 1, Wasim, took around 7 minutes 18 seconds. Speaker 2, Garvit, took 6 minutes 8 seconds. Maitri, speaker 3, Maitri, took 7 minutes 2 seconds. Speaker 4, Sujit, took 6 minutes 26 seconds. In table topic, TM Anisha, overall she took around 7 minutes to conduct the table topic session. So TTM speaker Sujit took around 1 minute 42 seconds. TTM speaker Naman took 1 minute. Sorry, TTM Sujit took 2 minutes 12 seconds, and Naman took 1 minute 42 seconds. Chandrakant took 1 minute 7 seconds. Chaitra took 1 minute 45 seconds, and speaker Ayushi took 1 minute 23 seconds. Coming to evaluation, evaluator Chandra took 3 minutes 15 seconds. Evaluator Sharad took 3 minutes 10 seconds. Evaluator Libin took 3 minutes 5 seconds. And evaluator Nitin took 2 minutes 49 seconds. Over to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Toastmaster Ravindra, for the detailed report. I would like to call upon Toastmaster Naman for the R-count report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Darshan. I think we had a fairly smooth ride today. Starting from SA, EMOD, DMOD.
Naman, I think there's some problem with your audio. Can you please recheck?
Okay, am I audible now?
It is muffled actually.
Okay. Just give me a second. Is it better now?
Can you try again, Naman?
Is it better now?
It is still muffled.
Shall we go ahead with the grammarian? In the meantime, I'll fix my audio.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the grammarian's report. Toastmaster Chaitra, can you please share your report, please?
Thank you, Toastmaster Darshan. I was completely delighted to be a part of this session today because it was absolute great usage of English grammar and good words. I'll begin with snickersnee, widdershins, bumbershoot, A. bibliophobia, and then there was few more words that I've noted down: contemporary turbulence. A special mention to the use of the phrase impromptu prepared. It's an oxymoron and a brilliant use which was introduced by Toastmaster Nikhil. Some mispronounced words, which I would like to pronounce it right so that everyone knows the pronunciation of these words. It's kung fu, panache, voracious, moral, athletes. These were some of the mispronounced words. Let's move on to some improvements that I have noted down. Boy bought up a water should just be boy brought water. Busy in sleeping should just be busy sleeping. Had two main things to learn could have been two pivotal takeaways. Started losing his interest could just be disinterested. Very, very bad could just be awful. Doctors came and saw could just be doctors diagnosed. I will give the introduction about the TM could just be will introduce the TM. Not going too much into it could just be want bogged with details. Came to know of the good things could just be was enlightened of. Since my very childhood should just be since my childhood. To start with my speech should be to begin with. Didn't know about what to do then onwards could just be was clueless. Moving to another place and another place could just be skipping places. Now coming to the moment of the reveal of the count. Looks like the idiom of the day was more ubiquitous than the word of the day itself. Word of the day was used 3 times, whereas idiom of the day was used 6 times. And the moment to reveal the Renan Martin of the day, it is Toastmaster Wasim, who used both the word of the day and the idiom of the day in his speech. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Darshan.
Thanks, Chaitra. I think that was a very, very well done, very passionate execution of your role, I would say. Do we have Naman back? Naman?
Yes. Darshan, can you hear Toastmaster Darshan? Can you hear me properly now?
Yes, it's very clear.
Okay, awesome. As I was saying, I think we had a fairly smooth ride today, starting from Sergeant at Arms, then even Toastmaster of the Day, Jivika, to the speakers, evaluators, to table topic masters. I think we all did a fairly good job. I do want to point out few things which I felt could be improved, and with a disclaimer that we are a very we are a club wherein we take things in a positive way. I don't want to point out specifically at somebody, but definitely Toastmaster Jivika, there were few times when we used and so and immediately too many times. So this is one place where probably we can improve. Toastmaster Garvit, there were few R's in your speech. Having said that, I think it wasn't something which bothered me too much. Toastmaster Wasim, I think you were flawless, and there were few moments when I could pick a few R's, but overall it was a very great job. Toastmaster Maitreyi, again, the words and well could be avoided. Toastmaster Sujit, again, and is something. So whenever for all the folks which I'm telling that and can be avoided, we are connecting sentences too long, and we can stop and restart a sentence. I want to say this, and I want to say another thing, and I want to say the third thing, and I want to say the fourth thing. We can avoid that. So that's where I found that and was used too many times by few people. Table topic masters, I think we did a fairly good job. It was a very, very cool initiative from Toastmaster Anisha. I couldn't evaluate myself, but I did evaluate the other folks, and the usage of R was very minimal. The evaluators did a great job as well, and RG is also good on the R counter. So with that, I would like to close my report. Back to you, Toastmaster Darshan.
Thanks, Naman. So we have exactly 6 minutes for 5 o'clock, and I would like to keep my report short. And sorry if there's a background noise. Some digging has started. Sorry about that. So session started at 3:06. SAA covered the mission statement, the guidelines, and set a good start. It was a good job done by SAA. Kudos. Our area director, Nikhil, I've heard you many times before, and it was a flawless execution, I would say. Talk about audience engagement, right? And I think you get full marks in that. And that's what is expected out of AD, and you did a fair job from that side. Thank you for that. TMOD Jivita, a very good choice of theme, mostly an emotionally driven kind of concept. And actually, a theme is very important because it gels the whole, all the role players and the speakers, right? I think your role itself, that was like a speech in itself, and it had all the drama, the body language, and everything, and that was wonderfully done. Toastmaster Jivita. Coming to prepared speeches, I guess the evaluators have done a wonderful job of covering all the points, the improvement areas, and the things that they did well. But however, I have few points that I think it could be add on and make some difference for the speakers as a takeaway. Toastmaster Wasim, your topic that you selected, I think it demanded an amount of drama and seriousness, and it demanded a kind of energy, and that was an excellent job. You executed it very well. However, when the whole speech follows that same tempo and energy, right, I somehow feel the effectiveness comes a little bit down. I think that's where even Toastmaster Chandrakant said you could have added a little more pauses and a little bit mellowed down at some stages, so that as an overall package it looks good, right? So that is something that Toastmaster Chandrakant covered very well in his speech, in his own style, calling it as turbulences and adding pauses. And I'm sure for a L3 level speech, there's something that you could definitely take away, Toastmaster Vasi. Coming to Toastmaster Garvit's speech, a very natural speaker, and it becomes all the while easy when you pick up a topic of when you're talking about something that you're passionate about, that is football. Right, you mixed the quotes and life stories very neatly in your speech. I'm not sure if you are referring to some write-up, Garvit, when you are, because from your eye contact it looked like that. It's okay for a L1 P2 speech because this is only your second speech. But I would say when this phase is over and when we are back on the stage, it becomes a challenge if you are referring to some write-ups, because your speech was so filled with quotes and references. So that would be challenging for you. So that is probably something that you could look up on how you can induce that in your on-stage speeches. Very well evaluated, Toastmaster Sharath. I think the suggestions what you were giving were very practical. Even you were giving examples to Garvit how he can do things differently and how it can be more effective. I think that's where you get full marks, Toastmaster Sharath. That was very nice to see that part. Toastmaster Maitri, the next speaker, a very lively speech on a very ubiquitous topic for L1 P3. Right? You had, I think, even Toastmaster Libin covered this in his evaluation. What I felt was you had various threads of topics between your speech. And I saw that the transition between these threads were a little loose and often bumpy. But however, you encompass them overall together with a kind of a solid philosophy at the end, right? By saying by saying quotes on life and like saying this too shall pass, right? That's like a summary that kind of put all these threads together, right? So otherwise, I think it was a wonderful speech. Toastmaster Sujit, kudos for stepping up and delivering the speech. I think this is what I guess they say when they say, grabbing the opportunity by its neck. And that was an excellent speech. I think what I was mesmerized was you used the word of the day, you used the theme of the day, you used the idiom of the day. I think everything was there in your speech. So that was kind of brilliant execution, I would say. And Toastmaster Nitin, again, the evaluation part was excellent. You covered all the goods, the improvement areas that Sujit could do, and also at the same time giving him that merit and giving him that pat on the back because it was his impromptu prepared speech, the oxymoron, like our grammarian said, right? So all in all, that was an excellent prepared speech section. coming on to the table topics, Anisha, a very innovative and fun-filled topics. I think even the participants made the best of it. See, there was a flow of all this creativity, the imagination, the stories, and I think when those things happen is when you can say that it was a success, right? And it was very evident by the kind of the fun that we had in that 10 minutes when all the speakers were enjoying, and all credits should go for your efforts and the kind of innovativeness that you have brought on the table. Right? And I think one point I missed, Toastmaster Libin, when you were evaluating, right? I think that was a very masterful execution of evaluation, I would say, because you are focusing on, you commented on, how her breath could have made a difference, right? When speaking, I think that speaks a lot about observation, right? I think kudos for that, Toastmaster Libin. Okay, and a special mention for in my tag team, special mention for our grammarian. I could now relate your introduction. In your introduction, you said that you are passionate about English literature, right? I think now I could relate really well that yes, it really showed off when you were doing an evaluation. Thanks for that, grammarian. I think it was a very well executed evaluation. Overall, this is to summarize my evaluation. I would say it was a fun-filled, an afternoon well spent for me, at least personally. As a general comment to all the speakers, I would say one point on eye contact. Right, this is something I learned recently. That when you're doing this online video calls, it is always good that you look at the camera. I mean, especially when the prepared speakers, when you're talking, look at the camera. It's a subtle thing, but it makes a big impact at the receiver side because you are making direct eye contact with the audience. I think that is something that I'm trying to practice. And a very small thing on the overall evaluations. There were with the evaluations, right? This is again something that I have come across that during evaluations, when you are evaluating a speaker, right? Often we tend to say how we are moved by the speaker, right? How we were moved by the, how it made an impact for us. What did I learn, right? So it is always good to do that because that is when it will motivate the speaker. However, I would say an evaluation is a kind of a very thin line, right? It's little different than that, right? Because when you are saying how motivated I felt when you are with your speech, that is good. But for evaluation, you need to consider other points and you need to kind of dissect his speech and say, okay, what is good in your speech? How you could improvise, right? So that is something. I felt there were shades of such things that happened with the evaluators, but overall, it was a very well evaluated, evaluations by all the evaluators, I would say. And often there is a standard that they say that you use a sandwich method when you do evaluations. And I was kind of giving a close noted that our evaluators doing that, and I think the patty was patty was less, or the bun was little more. But overall, I think all the evaluators did a good job in that. When it comes to sandwich method, right? I wanted to share this point from our club. We have something called a pav bhaji method. It might be, it might be interesting. Pav bhaji method is when you go all guns blazing. When the evaluator go all guns blazing, forget about the sandwich method. He starts about the improvement areas. He mixes things up. He kind of he brings in jazz, right? I think that's called a pav bhaji method. So it's not a recommendation that go with the pav bhaji method, but sandwich method is something that kind of packages your evaluation very nicely. I think that's what is a recommended thing, and full marks for all the evaluators to have followed that rule. Okay, so with that, I think we are 5-4 now, so a little bit overshot. But like I would say, I think I'm speaking on behalf of all the audience here that it was a wonderful Saturday afternoon, well spent. And I would like to give it back. I would like to call our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Maitri. Sorry, Toastmaster Jeevita. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Darshan. Unfortunately, Toastmaster Jeevita had to drop because she had a power failure. But again, thank you so much for that evaluation. It felt like an educational session in itself with everything that you just mentioned over here. It's almost time to close the session, so I will call on stage now our presiding officer and area director, Toastmaster Nikhil, to formally close the session.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Nitin. And I think I'll start with saying a special thanks to Toastmaster Darshan for being such an amazing general evaluator. I think where Nitin also pointed. In past couple of meetings, wherever I have attended in my own club or the other clubs, I don't know it's a coincidence or what, but I have been continuously taking journal evaluator roles. No other role, just journal evaluator. Especially when I go to other clubs, it's mostly journal evaluator. And I always look for what I can give more. And I think I found in your evaluation what I could give more in my evaluations in the next speech. And so similar thing I have found in Chandrakant's general evaluation also when he came to our club. Okay, so as a closing address, first and foremost thing, actually I want a poll, two polls. First thing, should I announce the results first or should I do a vote of thanks first? Are you excited about the results? Or is participation more important than whosoever is the best role taker or a speaker for the day? You can go on unmute if you can share your ideas.
People participate to win, and that's the primary motive.
Okay.
So, Nikhil, if I won, you can announce the results. If not, participation is important.
Excellent, excellent. But I think I'm not going to reveal, Chandrakant, if you won or not. I'm going to the set method that I already had in mind, which I've already written, that I'll do vote of thanks first. Okay. I like to start thanking the first and the foremost all the audience and all the guests who came here and without whom this meeting is not actually possible. Generally, we see in the vote of thanks that they go the last, but I believe without them, it's just role takers coming and giving the speeches. So there has to be someone, some audience has to be required, right? You win with the audience. If you win among just 10 contestants participating, then who knows? Just the contestants know, right? Then I'll go to all the role takers. Of course, audience alone cannot do anything. There has to be a show, a very streamlined show, starting from essay till general evaluator, in between Toastmasters of the day, all the speakers, all the evaluators. And I don't have words to say how amazing the table topic session was. It was hilarious and was well planned, and still we learned so much from it. We had so much fun and we learned so much from it. Finally, our counter are the journal evaluators. Again, so detailed reports. It's like the best of area has come, like best practices of area has come here, and we all learned something. Like how journal evaluate, how can we do better evaluations, or how we can do better our counter role, or how can we do better grammarian role. All of this, I believe we learned, all of us together. I am sure you also relate to the same thought. Then I'll go on thanking my external area team. First, foremost, Toastmaster Ravi. I believe he's not here. He's from Trailblazers. He's the one who takes care of the PR activities. He prepared the poster. Next is our Toastmaster Ashwin. I believe he had been following up with you all time and again about the speakers, evaluators. And finally, the one man who made this show happen, I believe you all know, because he is the one who has talked to everyone. I guess around a week back he said, "Don't worry, you worry about other stuff. This I'll take care." And I had so much confidence that I knew that it will be a superb show. And I believe all of you agree. So thanks a lot, Toastmaster Nitin, for being there and making this happen. A big round of applause to all and everyone. Now, I see Chandrakant is waiting. Okay, come on, finish it. Now come to the results, okay? Sorry, Chandrakant, I'm going to make you wait a little bit more. Now I request everyone to come on video. because it's important to take a picture. Okay. And you see, either you have to face the wrath of Chandrakant if you don't come on video, because this is how it is getting delayed. Can I request as many people as can come on video? Wow, that's amazing. So Toastmaster Nitin, I think one more thing I have to request you.
The official photographer of Area Chief. We still have 7 people who haven't turned on their videos. If you can. Okay, great. Everyone can put a big smile on your face and do a hand action. That'll be amazing. Yes.
We can do 5 and 4. 5 for Hum 5 and 4 for Area G4. If that works for you.
Everybody do that. I'll just put 5 because my other hand is taking.
No, don't do this. Okay, this can become political. You never know. Keep your hands open. Let's stay away from that topic.
All right, everybody ready? In 3, 2, 1, smile. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now we'll come to the important part. Okay, whether the participation is important or the winning part. So I'll start the results in best tag team or best R counter. Best tag team, sorry, best auxiliary role taker, not big star counter. Sorry. My bad. Any guesses? Anyone?
Grammarian, maybe.
Grammarian?
I think you guys already know. Congratulations, Toastmaster Chaitra. You have always set the bar too high. Okay, next we go to the best table topic speaker. Again, guesses. Anyone else? Any other guess? Or everyone just knows that Toastmaster Nisha is right?
Sujit.
Nice. Okay. So this is voting for himself. So it is Toastmaster Chaitra. Again, congratulations. A big round of applause. Now we go to best prepared speaker. Any guesses for that?
Wasim.
Absolutely correct. It's Toastmaster Wasim for an amazing speech. I'm filled with amazing energy. So now we go to the big 3, the best role taker, the best either T-Mod, PTM or the G. Now, any guesses for that? I want guesses not from the role takers. You guys have already spoken a lot. Anyone else who has not been a part of it as of now? Bhargavi, Venkatesh, Muskan.
3-way tie.
Sorry?
3-way tie.
3? I didn't get.
So it's shared between 3 people. He's saying it's tied between
3 tie. Nice.
3-way tie.
No, it's not a 3-way tie. Any more guesses? Fine. I'll reveal then. It's Toastmaster Anisha for doing fabulous job as a tabletop master. Finally, the last one, the best evaluator one. Actually, sorry, before I go to that, I had another point, right? I started this meeting with the question that how many people you know out of the 34 or 32 people who are there. Can we see how many you know now? Is there an increase? You just count quickly. I know it's only 25 people left. So, Nitin, your result has gone negative. It's reduced now. Okay, Muskan knows 4 people. Muskan, will you like to introduce yourself and tell which 4 people you know? Hello.
Hi, Nikhil. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
So, hi. I firstly know you from the first meeting and the session we had for our company's club. Then I know Naman. And from this session, I would like to know Maitri as well. I'll just have a chat with her. And I know Naman, you, Maitri, and Anisha. So, yeah, that's all for now.
That's great. That's amazing. So 100% increase. I believe that is a huge success. So a pat on my own back. Good job. Good job, all the. No, honestly, it's a great job done by all the presidents and vice presidents, all the club officers, in fact, right? Because they were the ones who brought up with this idea. Probably we can do, and then they made sure that it actually happens. And I hope that we will be able to do it more frequently and regularly to have this interactions going on. Okay. Now, if now I didn't announce the result, Chandrakant is going to come out and punch me. Yes, Chandrakant, you are the best evaluator. A big round of applause to you and to all the evaluators, all the role takers. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot for being here and for making this meeting. Okay, I'll not say success or not. It's up to you. I leave it to you. It depends how many messages you give to your club officers, and then they pass it to the area group. I'll decide based on that if this meeting was a success or not. And I honestly believe that next one will happen from initiative. One of you guys, feel free to approach me whenever you want to host the next meeting, probably 1 month or 2 months time. I look forward to your nominations. And thanks a lot. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Toastmaster Nitin. Thank you, all the role takers, speakers, speech evaluators, and the audience. With that, I declare this meeting closed. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sujit.
Thanks a lot, Sujit. Okay.